Welcome back my YouTube channel. We are watching coin today, the 10 centimes coin of France. 1977, the history of the 10 centimes coin of France. 1977, the French 10 centimes coin of 1977 is a fascinating artifact from the late 20th century, combining France's artistic tradition, political history, and evolving monetary system. Though small in denomination, it reflects nearly 2 centuries of French coinage evolution, stretching back to the French Revolution and forward into modern Europe, where the franc would eventually be replaced by the euro. This narrative explores the background of the 10 centimes coin, its design, production, symbolism, the historical context of 1977 France, and its legacy in the broader scope of numismatic history. Origins of the French centime. The birth of the franc system. The centime was first introduced during the French Revolution in 1795, when the franc became the official currency of France. Inspired by Enlightenment ideals of rationality and equality, the monetary system was decimalized. 1 franc equals 100 centimes. This was revolutionary at the time, replacing older, complicated systems of livres, sols, and deniers. The centime served as the smallest everyday unit of currency, designed to simplify commerce and provide universal accessibility. Evolution through the 19th century. During the 19th century, France underwent rapid political shifts, from republics to empires and monarchies. But the franc endured as a stable monetary unit. The 10 centimes coin became especially significant, filling the gap between low-value small bronze coins and higher-value silver or gold denominations. By the late 1800s, coins were minted in bronze, nickel, and eventually aluminum bronze, reflecting changing economies and metal availability. The 10 centimes coin in the 20th century transitioned to aluminum bronze. By the 20th century, particularly after World War I, France sought more cost-effective materials for coin production. Aluminum bronze became the metal of choice for the 10 centimes coin, balancing durability, affordability, and aesthetics. French coins traditionally carried images of Marianne, the national emblem of liberty and the Republic. Marianne symbolized democracy, equality, and resistance against tyranny. Her inclusion on coins reinforced national identity and the ideals of the Republic. By the mid-20th century, French coins consistently combined classical symbolism with modern design. Design of the 10 centimes coin, 1977 edition. The 1977 10 centimes coin continued the modernized design that had been in place since 1962, designed by Oscar Rodi and later revised figure of Marianne. Marianne is depicted in profile, wearing a Phrygian cap, the cap of liberty worn by freed slaves in ancient Rome. Inscription: République Française encircles her image, affirming the Republican government. Artistic style. The style is neoclassical, portraying Marianne as serene, youthful, and strong. Value and date: 10 centimes is clearly inscribed, with the year 1977 below. Laurel wreath motif. Surrounding the denomination are sprigs of wheat, oak, and olive branches, symbols of prosperity, strength, and peace. Motto of France. The edge inscriptions and symbolic imagery echo the famous revolutionary motto: Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, liberty, equality, fraternity. Metal composition and specifications. Material: aluminum bronze, 92% copper, 6% aluminum, 2% nickel. Weight: 4 grams. Diameter: 20 mm. Edge: smooth. This made the coin durable for circulation, yet inexpensive to mint. 1977. Historical and economic context in France. To understand the significance of this coin, one must place it in the political, social, and economic climate of France in 1977. Political landscape: France in the late 1970s was under the Fifth Republic, established by Charles de Gaulle in 1958. In 1977, the president was Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, 1974 to 1981. His presidency was marked by modernization efforts, liberal reforms, and European integration. The Republic emphasized democratic values, modernization of industry, and social progress. Economic situation. The mid to late 1970s were a time of economic difficulty across Europe. The 1973 oil crisis had severely impacted France's economy. By 1977, inflation was rising. Unemployment was increasing. The franc was under pressure compared to stronger currencies like the Deutsche Mark. Nevertheless, small denomination coins like the 10 centimes remained essential in everyday life, used for small purchases like bread, newspapers, and public transport. Society and culture. France in 1977 was also experiencing cultural transformation. Youth movements pushed for greater freedom and modern social values. French cinema, literature, and philosophy were flourishing. Everyday commerce relied heavily on coins, as credit cards and electronic banking were still rare. Thus, the 10 centimes coin was not only a tool of economy but also a cultural artifact, passing through millions of hands each day. Production and circulation of the 1977 10 centimes coin. The Monnaie de Paris, Paris Mint, produced the 1977 10 centimes coin. Mintage numbers 1977 saw the issue of tens of millions of coins, making it a common circulation year. Exact figures often exceed 100 million pieces, ensuring wide distribution. Usage in daily life. The coin had strong purchasing power in 1977 compared to later decades. For example, a baguette might cost around 1 franc, making 10 centimes a useful small unit. Payphones, metro tickets, and vending machines often required such coins. This widespread use gave the 10 centimes a central role in everyday commerce. Symbolism and national identity. Usage in daily life. The coin had strong purchasing power in 1977 compared to later decades. For example, a baguette might cost around 1 franc, making 10 centimes a useful small unit. Payphones, metro tickets, and vending machines often required such coins. This widespread use gave the 10 centimes a central role in everyday commerce. Symbolism and national identity. The 1977 10 centimes coin was more than a tool of commerce. It was a symbol of French values and identity. Marianne embodied the Republic's spirit. Agricultural motifs represented France's rural roots and prosperity. The motto of liberty, equality, fraternity symbolized unity and democracy. Each coin reinforced collective memory and national pride, reminding citizens of their shared values. International perspective. France was a founding member of the European Economic Community, EEC. The forerunner of today's European Union. By 1977, economic integration with Europe was growing. Discussions about monetary cooperation were intensifying, foreshadowing the eventual creation of the euro. Thus, the 10 centimes coin represents the final era of the independent French franc system, before European monetary unification began in earnest during the 1990s. The decline of the 10 centimes coin. By the 1980s and 1990s, inflation reduced the purchasing power of the 10 centimes coin. What once bought bread or fruit became nearly valueless. Coins of 1, 2, and 5 centimes disappeared from circulation earlier, while the 10 centimes survived longer but gradually lost relevance. Finally, with the introduction of the euro in 2002, the 10 centimes franc coin was withdrawn permanently from circulation. Collectability and numismatic value. Commonness of the 1977 issue. Because millions of coins were minted, the 1977 10 centimes is not rare. In circulated condition, it holds only sentimental or symbolic value. In uncirculated or proof condition, collectors may value it slightly higher, but generally it remains affordable. Numismatic interest. Despite its modest value, the coin interests collectors because it represents the late 20th century French franc system. Its design is a continuation of classic Marian imagery. It marks the prelude to the transition toward the euro. Legacy of the 1977 10 centimes coin. Though seemingly ordinary, this coin embodies several legacies. Historical legacy. It is a tangible link to France in the late 1970s, a period of economic challenge and social transformation. Cultural legacy. The design reflects French art, symbolism, and republican values. Numismatic legacy. It contributes to the long tradition of French decimal coinage that began in 1795. European legacy. As one of the last generations of French franc coins, it foreshadowed the eventual transition to the euro. The 1977 French 10 centimes coin may appear small and ordinary, but it represents a rich tapestry of history. Emerging from a long tradition of decimal coinage, it embodied the values of liberty and fraternity while serving the everyday needs of millions of French citizens. Its design carried national symbolism, its circulation reflected the economy of 1977, and its legacy endures as part of France's journey from revolutionary currency reform to European integration. While its monetary value has faded, its historical and cultural significance remains. In the hands of collectors and historians, the 1977 10 centimes coin continues to tell the story of France, its people, its economy, and its enduring republican ideals. Thus, the 10 centimes coin represents the final era of the independent French franc system, before European monetary unification began in earnest during the 1990s. The decline of the 10 centimes coin. By the 1980s and 1990s, inflation reduced the purchasing power of the 10 centimes coin. What once bought bread or fruit became nearly valueless. Coins of 1, 2, and 5 centimes disappeared from circulation earlier, while the 10 centimes survived longer but gradually lost relevance. Finally, with the introduction of the euro in 2002, the 10 centimes franc coin was withdrawn permanently from circulation. Collectability and numismatic value. Commonness of the 1977 issue. Because millions of coins were minted, the 1977 10 centimes is not rare.